Girl on the Third Floor is a horror film by upcoming director Travis Stevens, and it's about a man who is trying to renovate a home for his wife and upcoming new baby. As he's trying to do these renovations, a lot of creepy stuff happens. There's a lot of oil or something that seems to be leaking from the walls. What this film does really well is set design. Set design is amazing. I think there are parts that are directed really well. On the negative side, it felt a little bit low budget. I saw this on Netflix and I did zero research and I jumped right in. When something is all set in one location, when the acting is a little wooden, I just wonder if this is a self-funded or very, very small project. Beginning of the movie, I wasn't really on board. I liked how it looked, I liked how he looked, but the acting and the story, everything was moving very, very slowly. And this dude, right away, when we look at him, he has a past. He has some baggage. And it's not just that he has a lot of tattoos or the way he's built. It's just the way he acts, and it's very, very hardened. I found that this dude is definitely not a classic actor. He's actually a UFC fighter, a pro wrestler, and he looks like that type of person. I'm sure in pro wrestling he needs to do acting, so it's not that he doesn't have the chops. I really liked his energy. Some moments you could really feel like he's not that developed as an actor yet, but I still felt like just because of his physicality, it gave a different quality, which I appreciated. Once we get past the 30-minute mark, that's when things start to get really interesting. And I want to say that I would recommend this movie, actually. If you're a horror fan, I think you'll find something to enjoy. Personally, I wasn't as invested as I wanted to just because of all of the parts that felt a little bit amateurish. What this film does really well, like I said, in addition to the set design, is it has a lot of practical effects. Now, I don't want to go too much into spoilers, but there are some really cool images and stuff that is pretty shocking, and it makes you feel very uncomfortable. And one more thing, credit to this film, this story is not a regular horror story. There are some plot points and story elements that go a different direction than what you expect, that you can't really predict. And I give it a lot of credit to that. I think this film is getting a lot of positive buzz, as it should be, because it's doing a lot of interesting things. But if you go in expecting a very, very professional A24 level film, A24 being the production company that does all of the great top level horror now, it's not quite there yet. The story and the direction had the potential to be there. Actually, I want to say this. The main female antagonist, she's just not very scary. She looks too sweet. I think that's one of my biggest issues. In a horror film, when we have somebody that we're supposed to fear, that person or thing needs to have a quality that frightens us, not just on the surface, but deep inside. And she just didn't have that, in my opinion. So I was never really scared. And that's okay. There's some horror movies that I think are really fun, even if you're not scared. This one, there are fun moments, but not quite enough for me to really love it as much as I want to. This film has a third act turn that really changes the way you view this story. And that's cool. I really like that. If you can sit through the first half an hour, you will be rewarded in some ways. I don't think it's going to be everybody's cup of tea, but it might be. So if you've gotten to this point, let's just talk about spoilers now. So what it turns out to have happened is that this house used to be a brothel of some sort, and the main female antagonist was one of the people that worked there. She was abused by a lot of people, and then there's the other girl who I think they call the nymph, or in Wikipedia they called her something, but the girl with the messed up face, she is one of the main things that's haunting the place. So it's kind of like they're both haunting the house together, and they are essentially saying that they gave our main character Don a choice. And because he cheated on his wife, and then I guess he decided to kill her, he needs to be punished. That's the part I actually do like about this film, that we're punishing him because he's kind of a bad dude. I don't know if it warrants exactly what happens to him, but I thought that the third act turn, when it becomes suddenly his wife's story. It was cool. I really liked the surrealism of the last scene. It felt a little like murder mystery house, like something you would pay $50 for and just walk around. Everything wasn't dressed for me to buy in that this is actually like a flashback. And in The Shining, there are scenes like that. And just everything about the way those scenes are filmed, you just instantly feel creeped out. In this movie, you just felt like, I feel like this is a costume party. It's not that scary. I get it. I like the intention. And I also really do like the ending. I like the ending of him dropping the marbles and his face comes out. And yeah, that's great. It's all great. I'm really excited to see what this director does next. I think he just needs a little bit better talent and a little bit more experience, and he's going to do something really cool. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I have a lot of fun making these. If you saw this film, let me know what you think, or if you have any recommendations of stuff I should watch. I hope you're safe, healthy, and I'll see you all next time. New houses are scary, and there's going to be an infinite amount of movies capturing that feeling of being in a new place and not knowing where that sound came from, or if you saw something.